Day 68 in a year of living the warrior's way. Today I want to talk about ambivalence. What the fuck does ambivalence mean, and what the fuck has that got to do with living the warrior's way? Well, when we're ambivalent, we just don't really give a shit. We don't really care about the consequence of our choices and our habits. And that leads to poor choices, poor habits. And this state, this situation where we just can't be bothered, that allows us and gives us almost like an excuse to just stop doing what we know we shouldn't be doing. So, for example, if we look at myself, and I'm only ever going to look at myself, because there's no point in berating anyone else or telling other people you should do this and you must do this and you should. Then you just should all over them. So that's what I used to do. I used to should all over myself. But the thing is, ambivalence and not being bothered and not considering choices and not considering actions and habits and not really caring about things, that leads to a shit life. It leads to lack, scarcity, anger, depression, frustration, everything. And this makes life very difficult. Really, really difficult. But that is because behind every bad thing that we do, that I do, behind every bad thing, whether it's alcohol, whether it's watching bullshit on fucking YouTube like this, like videos like this, whether it's wasting time, with, I don't know, YouTube shorts, Facebook reels, Instagram, porn, gambling, anything, whatever you're doing, whatever whatever we do, we get a reward from those things. The reward isn't always obvious. And sometimes what's actually happened is, and again, I'm going to use my own situation. So, alcohol has played a part in my life for my entire life. I was brought up in pubs, in restaurants. I had a father who drank a lot, a huge amount. And I remember when, wait for the car. I remember when my son was born, my daughter was born, things like that, and other children within the extended family were born. My dad used to put his finger into his glass of wine and put it in the baby's mouth. And I never actually, everyone thought it was good fun, and he thought, oh, here we go, the baby's drinking with me, and yada, yada, yada. But for a tiny baby, their livers, I've since learned, can't cope with that. That's one surefire way to fuck a baby up and fuck a child up for the rest of their life. Introducing them to alcohol, that a poison, and I know these things cognitively. I know what alcohol does. But I get a reward from it, or it is ingrained within me. It's been placed upon me by a parent who was uncaring or whatever, probably had it done to themselves, probably saw it being done to themselves, but that doesn't excuse it. So, and I remember I used to sit and see my dad slumped on a table after service, drunk and asleep and snoring. Then he'd wake up and he'd crawl off to bed later on in the night. And I used to laugh. I used to think, you tosser. And you know what? I do exactly the fucking same. Except I'm not falling asleep on a table, I'm falling asleep on a sofa. And I'm drinking, and I'm eating rubbish, and I'm watching rubbish. And then I wake up 2, 3, 4 in the morning, whatever. No recollection. What time did I fall asleep at? No recollection of anything. Just that suddenly I blacked out. And it is embarrassing. And I've been working and trying to, because if you want to fix something, if you want to change something, obviously you have to have a deep desire to fix and change that thing. Morning. You've got to be totally and utterly fed up with that thing, Or you've got to just say, I've had enough. I'm going to make a change. This is the change to my life because I'm not getting anything out of this, or it's not doing me any good. Because the biggest problem is most of us wait until it's too late. Now, I'm not doing that. I have tried a number of times, but there is, like Yoda, not Yoda, I don't know, whoever it is in Star Wars, there is no try, there is only do or do not. And repeated attempted trials, I shouldn't, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it, because I have tried and I have wanted to at that time. But I haven't got to the deep core of the issue. And that has led to the ambivalence. That has led to, as I say, the original part of this share, is that until I can get down to what reward do I actually get, what is it that makes me feel like it's a good thing, I'm not going to be able to eradicate it. I remember, again, with my parents, in this particular hotel, they used to have these German Bavarian nights, Umparbands, all sorts of things. And they used to have a drinking competition where I would have half a shandy, and I was aged probably 8, 7, 8, something like that. And I would be put up on the stage with the umpire band and all of these things morning doing their stuff, and I would be in a drinking competition where who could finish the drink quicker. So part of that reward is ingrained in my head, that it's good to drink. I'd be drinking my little half of lager, and the man who I'd be drinking against would have a whole stein of lager. So of course I would always win because I didn't have so much, and he would always lose. Everyone would laugh, everyone would joke, I would be praised. And then, of course, as often happens, men who can hold their liquor are seen as tough and good, and you know. And I never get violent or anything like that with booze. I just fall asleep. I just say stupid things that I shouldn't say. I just try to be outrageous and different. And again, that comes back to what I saw my father doing. And it's ingrained in me that this is a good thing, but I know it's not. And it's okay to say, I'm going to take all these things out, I'm going to get rid of all these things, and that drinking does not make you a man, and holding your liquor doesn't make you good, and drinking wine makes you sophisticated. No, none of that shit is true. But it's the reward. What is the reward I get? So one of the rewards I get is I can just blank out. I can just run away and hide in a bottle. I can just say, I don't care. I'm killing myself softly. Stupidly. Killing myself slowly. A slow, slippery slide to an alcoholic grave. Now, am I an alcoholic? I don't know. I would say no. It's just a term. It's a phrase. People like to put labels on themselves. I don't want to put a label on myself, because I don't want to be defined by a label. That's like saying, I'm a doctor, I do doctor shit, I am a soldier, I am a teacher. That doesn't define who you are. And I've had many different roles and many different things. I've been a coach, I've been a bartender, I've been a salesman, I've been a director of a shit company that I run. I've been all of these different things, but they're just labels. So someone says to me, or if I said to someone else, rather than someone says to me, if I say, I can't do this because I am this, that's like me, if I put it in my way, I can't give up drink because my dad introduced me to drink at a young age. I can't give up drink because I work in the drinks industry. I can't give up drink because I like it too much. And all of these different things, they're just excuses, and they're just stories, and they're just lies, because everything can be given up. You put me on a remote Scottish island with no shops or anything like that, and nothing to do except maybe drink some milk or something from a goat you might catch. You're not going to be doing that. I remember reading about the Vietnam War, and this was what really defined it for me, where something ridiculous like 80% of the soldiers in the Vietnam War were using heroin on a regular basis. And the army guys, the top brass, were absolutely terrified that all of these soldiers would come home and be heroin addicts. But the thing was that when they came home, almost all of them never took heroin again, because it was a different environment, a different thing. They had to, they escaped in the war from all of the pain and the slaughter and everything that was going on. But when they got home, everything was very, very different. Of course, they had to deal with a whole load of other things, but the fact that they weren't addicts, they didn't put that label on themselves. It was just something they did at the time. So I don't see myself as an addict. I just see myself as someone who has taken a particular substance to excess for a sustained period of time. And I need to dig down deep, get the rewards out, start changing that habit for a more productive habit, a healthier habit, and something that will allow me to not be ambivalent. Anyway, that's it for today. Hit me up, let me know, is there something that you are struggling with? What can you change? What rewards are you getting out of it? I'm going to be stacking this later today to try and see if I can dig a little bit deeper into what my rewards are and see if I can rip those lies out one at a time and restart. Cheers.